Hi everybody, welcome to the South Australian Sports Show. I hope you can stay with us for the next hour. Always enjoy your company as I welcome my co-host Barry Curtin to the show. Baz, how are you?
Fantastic, mate. How are you going?
Could not be better. We'll get to the footy in a minute, mate. But just so you know what's coming up on the show, we've got boxing, the Southern Footy League on the show, the SANFL. We've got a para world champion coming in to talk to us as well. And of course, Port Adelaide footy legend George Fiarchi's coming up on the show. We're going to talk a little bit of harness racing. George is the chairman there now and doing a ripping job. So, mate, the weekend for you, I know the Port went down to Brisbane.
Yes.
You're always disappointed when you lose, but their record in the hub has been pretty impressive.
I think it's been great. I think if they were offered 4-on-1, take it.
Yep. Grab it.
Yeah, no problem at all. Come home from there at 4-on-1. Bit better than the lads down the road. So when you look at it that way, I don't think they've done badly. And they caught a red-hot Brisbane in Brisbane. It reminded me of the early 2000s when both these teams used to go at it and have unbelievable great games. But we could never get them at the Gabba. We could never get them there. And Mark Williams said to me once, Baz, if we get them out of the Gabba,
we're okay.
We will beat them. And the only time they got them out of the Gabba, Grand final. But they're a good side. Look, they're a terrific side. There's no doubts about it. So bit of a wake up, if you like, but still not a bad result in the hub.
All right, the Crows. Where are you seeing them at the moment?
Other
than at the bottom of the ladder.
Yeah, you know. Where do you start, Phil? I mean, it's not just a 0-5. There are so many things going wrong with that football club at the moment that you don't know where to start. Where do you start? Do you start with the camp? Do you start with? Where I am, mate. I'm with the list manager. I'm with their list.
You're headhunting him
management
first?
Because when you look at the fact that they could have had. This is just from Port Adelaide. Zach Butters, Xavier Dersma, Todd Marshall. When you look at it that way, where Adelaide could have gone bang, 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 then you've got to think there's something wrong. And they say, look, okay, we're going to go back into draft picks. We're going to get 1 million draft picks. That's all well and good, Phil.
Yeah.
But if I recruit Phil Smythe as a #1 pick and he's from Melbourne,
you know I'm going back to Melbourne
well,
eventually. Fair chance.
Their record at keeping guys is not good. So where do you start?
It's a really good question, where do you start? And everybody's got a theory on it. For mine, I try and use sport as a guide. Look at history of where it's gone with other clubs and you go, okay, let's have a look at what Carlton did under Bolton, where they've moved to right now. Let's have a look at what Brisbane have done under Fagan. How did they get to where they are right now? And I think that's where Nixie is with his group right now. He's got a Carlton and he's got a Brisbane of 3 or 4 years ago.
He's got some pain.
He's got some pain. The club's got some pain. It's a real test now to see, let's get united and let's get some change in there. They're going to have to get the right people in the right positions to move forward quickly. Otherwise, it's going to be a decade or more before you see them come out of this.
But will they lose players again at the end of the year? So the other thing is too, Phil, when you're sitting on the bottom of the ladder,
it's hard to recruit players.
It's hard to get that free agent to say, okay, come and play with us. Well, mate, you're not going to play finals, so I'm not going to come and play with you. And then it's, of course, player retention. Keeping them when you get them here.
Look, we're in a difficult spot. I think there's any doubt. I rolled my eyes when you mentioned the camp. I'm going, it's got nothing to do with Nixie. And the bloke that brought it out, a great story, mate, but really it's 2 years ago. Let's start digging up stuff from a decade ago and some stage let it go.
The only reason I brought it up, mate.
No, not you.
The only reason I did bring it up is because people keep hammering away at it, and then you've got ex-players keep talking about it.
I'm a bit on. We need to move on. Look, coming up next, mate, the International Roundup. New segment in the show. Brought to us by Adelaide Signs at Mile End. Mark Reed's going to join us, have a talk a little bit about it, but we're going to get into the International Roundup. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Sports Show. Time for a new segment, Baz. Now, you thought this one up yourself, mate. The International
Roundup.
International Roundup, is it?
International Roundup.
Well, and luckily we've got a new sponsor to come on board because we need to find out why. We're going to talk to Mark Reed from Adelaide Signs. Mark, thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
Mate, why would you want to get in as a sponsor on this segment?
Being a local SA company, been a long time in Adelaide, thought SA, what's the show called? I've completely forgotten.
SA Sports Show?
That's it. The SA Sports Show. I've been on Adelaide Oval and Alberton, but I thought, hey, what's the next step? Let's go on the SA Sports Show and help them out.
You're a viewer, mate. You watch the show. When I spoke to you earlier on in the week, You're a fan of the show as well. Well, maybe not a fan, but you watch it.
He didn't ask for your autograph. Is that what you're saying?
I do have your autograph.
But being a South Australian company, I think that's great that a South Australian company has jumped
Absolutely.
on board. So, you know, Mark Reeve from Adelaide Signs, and you do some great work too. And I will say that, mate, because if you look at Adelaide Oval, I'd say 90% of Adelaide Oval is
Mark Signs.
Adelaide Signs and graphics. So,
well, hey, Mark, where do we find you?
We're a mile end south, just off of Sir Donald Bradman Drive. We were in a smaller business, but we needed more room, so we moved once we started sponsoring other sport teams, I guess, as well.
How long Adelaide Signs been going in South Australia?
1974. It started as Miami Signs and then was changed in the late 80s to Adelaide Signs and Graphics. So it's been around a very long time.
Well, people are going to jump all over you now. You know that, don't you, mate? You're going to have to buy another ladder.
Falling off enough.
Jump all over you now. You've been on the SA Sports Show. But we've got a segment to do, mate. It's called the International Roundup, which you're well aware of. And it's a little look at what's happening in the world of sport, but also what we're going to endeavour to do here is keep our eye on the Australians overseas. So keep an eye on what they're doing, how they're playing, and in whatever sport they're doing. But I want to start with this one.
Appreciate your support, Mark.
Mate, you stay
Adelaide
there, don't you
Signs.
go anywhere. Yep. I want to start with this one here, mate. The Kansas City Chiefs. Now, we're talking NFL here. They've just extended a contract to their quarterback.
10 years.
10 years. For Australian dollars here, 726 million.
You know what's amazing when you hear those numbers? I mean, they're staggering numbers. Remember Buddy Franklin signed $1 million a year for 10 years with the Sydney Swans, and everyone went, that's ridiculous. What kind of money are we talking about here?
Yeah.
And you go, he's a little bit short on this bloke.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, just about 720 million short.
Right.
But you wonder how they justify that money. Of course, they've got to change their names now too. You understand there's a few changes to go over there, so they'll have more merchandising.
Yeah, more. One of them, yeah.
What do you think when you read that though? 724 million.
Well, I was staggered. I looked at it when I saw it. I thought, whoa,
Misprint?
hang on a minute here. Hang on, no. It's getting a bit out of hand.
Yeah.
But it's a staggering amount of money, really, for 10 years. What's that? And I went to Angle Park Boys Technical High School.
72 mil a year, mate, roughly.
72 a year.
Roughly, yeah. He'll be all right. He'll have to lose a little bit in tax. What about my mate Usain Bolt? How's he going?
Well, he's just had a daughter.
Yep.
Now, what do you think he called his daughter, Phil?
Yeah, no, I know, but you want to tell me.
Well,
what is it?
Lightning.
Lightning Bolt.
Lightning Bolt. That's what he called his daughter. There is another name in there somewhere, but Lightning is definitely there. Lightning Bolt.
How do you reckon that would go going to school?
Well, I think she'll be a good fighter.
Yeah.
You're going to have to be because, you know, people are going to get into it.
It'd be like calling your son Sally, wouldn't it? Going to school. You know you're going to get some. You're going to get, or maybe you can't catch it.
Or a boy called Sue.
Might not be able to catch a lightning bolt.
Well, that's
so you're going to have some running genes in her.
Well, I dare say she'll be pretty quick.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Now, the Australians on the PGA Tour, and we just finished the Rocket Mortgage Classic, they're struggling. Since the restart, Jason Day, Adam Scott, Mark Leishman, all these guys are struggling. They're not making cuts and whatever.
Why do you reckon that's happening?
Well, I'm not sure. Because they're all very, very good players. But they're not making cuts. So there's something wrong. There's something wrong there somewhere.
Do you reckon there's a fear? I mean, it wouldn't be out on the golf course playing. You'd be thinking you're okay with the virus out there. But then you've got to be, depending on where you are after that, you'd be feeling, you may be just being uncomfortable.
Well, no crowds. You know,
that's a bit strange, isn't it?
As well. So it's a whole different ballgame. But that Bryson DeChambeau has won. Picked up 1.3 for his 4 days' work. But I'd rather watch paint dry than watch him win because to
Don't
me,
like him?
Well, mate, he showed his true colours when he had to go at a cameraman for doing his job, basically, which was filming him, saying that if you're filming at the wrong time, you damage his brand. Well,
damage his brand.
What a pansy! No, I don't want to see him win, and I don't think the PGA Tour are all that happy with him either. He's bulked up. I reckon he's been in the gym. Okay, question marks. I'd be testing him because he looks like the Incredible Hulk at the moment, and he's driving the ball so far that it's ridiculous. He's 50 metres ahead of the biggest hitters in the game.
Further than Happy Gilmore?
Not as far as Happy.
No. They'd like to have him on the tour right now, wouldn't they? He'd be drawing a crowd.
Yeah, he'd be drawing a crowd, for sure. So that's the goal. Daniel Ricciardo didn't finish again. Lap 54, boom, out we go.
He's not going to be very happy to get out of there, is he?
Oh, mate.
What's he got? 4 months, 5 months left before he jumps?
It's 54 laps out of 71.
Let me ask you that for a moment, though, with Ricciardo. And I absolutely wrapped in him. You know, watching Aussie do great in the Formula Ones. He signed with another car company at the end of this season.
That's right.
Now, we've had this argument before. We've seen it in the NRL, and it's sort of starting to sneak into the AFL, where a player signs to play with someone else next year.
Yeah. Does he give 100?
Well...
Does he give 100%?
Would you want him?
No. I want him to leave.
Yeah.
I want him to go to that car dealer now. Not car dealer. He doesn't need to buy a car, does he?
No, he doesn't need to buy a car. But I just think it's a strange one. I think he'd drive as hard as he could, but be frustrating for him. His cars keep breaking down on him, so he'd be glad to get out.
Well, I saw it. 54 laps, Ricardo, Australian, Renault. I thought, Renault, he's not still Renault, is he? But yeah, he is. Now, mate.
Last one.
This one I like. This one I really like. Nick Kyrgios. You would not think that Nick Kyrgios would be the moral compass of if no one.
He's been giving some pretty good advice.
Well, I just think he's had a shot at Boris Becker.
Yep.
Called Boris a donut. That's what he's called him. He called him a donut.
Right.
Now that was all. This is over these blokes partying and whatever, and contacting COVID-19 and whatever. Zverev.
I reckon Nick's been right. He was right.
He's spot on. He's spot on.
That's what's scary.
You are a bullhead.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. That's scary. That is scary. There's more. But the EPL, that hots up now. That's really hot because the Champions League spots are up for grabs. So the resumption of that is all happening. And there are about 3 or 4 sides that can still get a Champions League spot next year. So.
And Liverpool after 30 years.
And Liverpool after 30 years, yes.
All right.
Finally won one.
Time for us to go to a break. Stay with us. Still a bit more to come.